When you hear what I've got to say, I'm sure you won't be able to turn your head away.
Alright, we're back with another episode of The Concrete, episode 44, with my girl, the Missing Plug, right here. If I didn't introduce you well enough, let the people know who you are, what you do, where you from.
Okay. Hey everybody, so I'm Crystal Burrell. I'm also known as the Missing Plug. I'm from Chester, Toby Farms to be exact. And what I do is I plan and promote events for businesses specifically.
Okay. So I always like to start the show off with an icebreaker. This time I'm gonna go with, if you could be a part of any fictional family, who would you want to be a part of? Like, what family would you want to be a part of?
Like any fictional family?
Yeah, and why?
And why?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I did think of the Proud Family first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy because they were the first people to pop up in my head. I'm trying to think. Alright, so I'm gonna really say the Cosby's. Like, I'll be a part of their family.
Okay.
I just feel like they were super dope. But if I had more time, I would pick like a music family, of course.
Okay.
Because they're probably rich and stuff like that.
Okay. So, you said you're from Chester. You said you're from Toby Farms. But, like, where did your journey start before you was the Missing Plug? What was you doing before you was the Missing Plug?
What was I doing? I don't know. I guess I was just Crystal.
Nah, you was something. You was doing something. Like,
okay, so I feel like I've always been a Missing Plug,
mm-hmm.
even before there was a name. Like when I think back to middle school, high school, like all my friends are friends. Like
right.
I always still knew what was going on, and then when I went to college, that even continued. Like I was just the person that kind of like brought people together and always knew what was going on. So I would say I was just gearing up to, be who I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So you always had a passion for it, you would say?
Yeah, I just didn't know it was like a skill set I would.
Okay.
Something I naturally was just good at.
Okay. And how did you come up with the Missing Plug? What went into your ideas of being the Missing Plug? Like, what gave you that idea? Like, all right, this is what it is.
This is the name.
Yeah, this is what it is.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I don't know, to be 100% honest. Like, I remember when I made the website and everything, my sister, she swears she had something to do with it. Like, when I told the story.
It's usually like that. People
You know what
always
I
like
mean?
take credit.
And maybe she did. But I don't know where the name came from. A lot of my greatest ideas, like, even the word show and stuff, like, I can't tell you, like, oh, this is where I came up with it. I just know when the name, like, when I saw that name, I'm like, that's the name.
So it was just like a feeling.
Yeah, it was just like, all right, that's who we are. And it literally, I started Missing Plug like a month after my mom died.
Okay.
So I always feel like it had something to do with that too, and stuff like that. But yeah, I've always been a Missing Plug. I just had to put a name to it.
Okay, so you said your mom passed. So when your mom passed, you think, like, I know us being human beings, like when we go through tragedy and stuff like that, that's when the best come out of us. So you think you had one of those moments, like all right, I know my mom passed, but it's just like what I'm going to do next type moment?
Yeah, it's so much, it's like crazy, like life was just life, and I didn't even know.
Life was life.
Back then, when my mom passed away, like that's when I decided not to go back to school. I was still waitressing, that was like the only thing I was doing consistently. And I remember I was staying with my sister, the same sister, on like 5th Street. This is my first time out of Toby Farms, like everything's a first.
So this is a new world for you, for real.
Yeah, I just came home from college. Like I've been in college for like 2.5 years with the white people or whatever. And I remember it was somebody from 3BM. They gave me a CD.
Okay.
And like I always loved rap. I always was that girl. But like they gave me a CD. I listened to that drum, put it in my laptop. And I heard what they were saying and stuff. And I was like, yo, people gotta hear this. And that's literally that's how it started. So yeah, definitely taking a tragic thing like my mom dying and turning it into like my life's purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And even for her, like when I look back, I'm like, yo, she was really the plug. Like I really just carried that.
I feel like
You know
that's
what I
tough.
mean? So
That's
yeah.
tough. So the first, just like you said, the first thing you did, you was helping an artist. Like, so you really didn't know what you was doing. You just was like, yo, I want to help people hear this artist.
Like, so, literally, like, when I went to school, so I went to Bloomsbury, and of course you have, like, most of your African-American people are from Philly. So being from Chester, of course, you always want to stand out. So people always was like, oh, like, one, you don't seem like you're from Chester. That's you get that. And then two, like, all the bad stuff. So it's like all we had was just God to show, like, this is what's happening. So I was that girl in the game room. Like, yo, look at this. This is what's happening in Chester. So it was just, I wanted people to know, like, it was more here than the stuff you see on the news. And for me, I was, like, a music head. So that was the, channel that I used.
Right. So fast forward a little bit. Like, I know you did multiple things we can't talk about because you're a woman of many crazy talents. Like, I know.
Thank you.
But, like, what went into the award show? Because, like, I know why I started the Concrete. Like, I started the Concrete, the show. Like, we got more than just rappers, athletes. It's people doing a lot of stuff. And then some people that don't get sing as they should or don't get to explain why. Just like I asked you. I never knew why you started Missing Plug. I just know, like, Crystal always been doing stuff. So, like, I know this going to work. So
thank you.
So that was my thing with it. So, like, what went into finally having an award show?
Okay, so same thing. I can't tell you why or when we did this. I do remember people, though, at one point being like, you should do this. Because somebody else had did an award show, and, like, we all thought it was whack because it was, like, for old people or whatever. I do remember that, and people were like, well, you do it. But years later, I decided to do it. And one of the things we were doing were deeper than rap. So that was a showcase. I think it lasted maybe, like, 3 years where I would get my artists. We would do, like, photo shoot, cipher, and have the show. So it was actually supposed to be another deeper than rap. And I was new in my entrepreneur journey, and I'm like, yo, this shit is hard, So the award show is just a celebration of that. And if you kind of look at the categories that we have, that's why it's based off of the people I work with, the people I come in contact with all the time. And I'm just like, same thing. Somebody needs to see this. Somebody needs to know that you talk all this stuff on Chester, but, like, it's people here that are working hard. And, like, for me, this is, like, literally my life's work. And it's people just like me that I meet every day that no one knows about.
Right. And I think another thing with you is that make you special, that you can do stuff like that. Like, just like you said, you're a person that everybody know, like, they know you, like, you're not a bad vibe, or like people know you're gonna do good work, or they know, like, you're gonna put your all into it. So I feel like you're the perfect person to put on this type of event. But since last year, like, how many years have you had this so far?
So this will be the 5th year.
The 5th year. So last year, I know, like, you made it was just like all city businesses, all city talent, entrepreneurs, stuff like that. But this year, I feel you making it on a bigger scale, right? So what made you do that?
So just as I'm growing as a business person, entrepreneur, it's like the Missing Plug Awards is tied into, obviously, the Missing Plug. That's where I get most of, like, new inquiries, things like that. And it's been times to expand. I've been doing a little bit things here and there, but it's like, especially for me making a niche of just planning events for businesses, it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Of course, you have like your city drama, but now I'm like, all right, we about to spice it up. We want to add Delaware in here, we want to add Philly in here and see how y'all act. Like, it's a method to it too. And then at the show, you got to have all these businesses you don't even know. Right. We do post the top 5, no matter if people say bad or good things. You're about to see all these businesses you probably didn't know. So it's a one, a way to network, and 2, a way for me to elevate as a business.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand that, like, even with me, like, everybody just thought when I first started, oh, he's going to have all Chester people up there. Because people know where I'm from. I'm proudly from Chester. So people just going to think I'm having Chester. But I gained a good network of people outside of Chester. So that's why I try to, like, people don't understand, like, we Chester, we know how important we are. But the outside sometimes don't know how important we is. So for us to get on that scale, sometimes we got to be in the category with these people. People gotta see us next to them to understand
really
exactly.
And another thing is, like, the award show was never a Chester award show.
Okay.
And it's when you planning and making goals, people don't know that. Like, I want the show to be just as big as the BET Awards and the Grammys, and this is the only way we're gonna get there.
Right.
I love my city, and we had our time here, and I hope Chester people are always involved. But it's about entrepreneurs everywhere, especially Black ones.
Right, definitely. All right, so we talked about all the positive stuff, but let's talk about some negative stuff that came out of this award show. Because I seen a lot of people talking crazy. I was a part of the award show. I didn't win, but I was happy to be a part of it. But I seen a lot of people talking crazy. So how do you deal with the people that don't even, like, some people just don't know?
Yeah, some people don't know, so they just be saying anything.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so first, second, maybe not third, but definitely first and second. Like, it was just like, I'm on every comment. Like, you ain't breathe. All you gotta do is nominate. But then literally, the award show, my business is teaching me how to grow. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like my best friend. She'll text me if she sees me on the internet, like commenting back, like, what would Beyonce do? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She don't respond to nothing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times last year, especially, I had no idea all the stuff that was happening on the internet because I was so focused on planning it and getting sponsors to pay for it that it was like I didn't have time or care. So I'm growing like as a woman where like I'm that sensitive in certain areas. So like if I read everything, I remember this one girl called me a dickhead and then I met her like years later and I was like, that was me, and she was like, oh my god, I didn't know. You know, like I'm not taking it personal because you don't know me. A lot of the time people don't even know, like they meet me and they're like, oh, you're the girl. It's either a good or bad thing. But it just taught me like tough skin and how to not let like people just be saying stuff. Yeah,
it come with the territory. Once you get in front of a camera, people just can say whatever they want out their mouth, and you just gotta let it rock. But the thing about it is, like, it's free promo. Like when I see people talk about,
I'm not gonna lie.
You talking about helping me. Like, all right, it's trash. I'm not doing good with the votes. Y'all don't want to. It's fun. Everything y'all saying.
You still talking about it. Yeah, you still talking about it. And I also, like, I'm the type of person, like, I might not say nothing, but I do take feedback. So even though it's once a year, it's like, okay, I'm taking stuff that's actually, like, constructive. Yeah. Like, okay, maybe I could have did a better job here or whatever like that. But when people are just purely like, oh, this person should have won and then that person, it's like you didn't participate. It's just like voting for your president and your local people. Like, whatever you participate on, you're going to have a result. If you just sit back behind your, like, phone and talk smack, it's just like, we don't have time for that.
And a lot of people don't understand with, like, with the media and stuff like that. Like, if I do what you want to do, it's not gonna work. Yeah. If I just do who you like and who you're not musically inclined, you're not inclined with the media, you don't understand how stuff works. So you telling me something from the internet, I'm happy you got time to pay attention to what we got going on to go vote.
Yeah. No, literally go vote. And some people are big enough to even apologize. To be like, you know what, I was actually wrong, I didn't know, the information was right there. So, I mean, it just depends on who you are, but like, I definitely got room to grow. You know, I didn't wake up and decide to want to do this. So, I'm learning as I go too, so.
And I definitely feel that because a lot of people probably didn't think it was going to get the 5.
Yeah, someone the other day was like, I'm glad you're still doing this. And like, they meant it in a positive way, but it's like, what you thought I was going to do? Like, which I thought I was going to go. Exactly. Like, even some of the guys will, like, when the stuff on the internet is happening, they see me in person, they're like, want to give me a hug because they think I'm, like, crying all day. And it's like, that was Crystal, like, year 1. Like, y'all have no idea.
Old. Nah, that's
y'all have
right.
No idea
high school Crystal.
Yeah, like, you feel me?
You tough skin now. Like, you feel me? You understand what comes with the game. So I don't see that. But I definitely feel you because even when I started what I was doing, a lot of people didn't think it was going to last. Like, I didn't know where I was going at.
You said episode 44, right?
Yeah, I'm at 44 now, but I didn't even understand where it's going at. Even JR, like, he could tell you, I was going with the flow. Like, I had an idea what I wanted to do, but it just, like, for me to still be doing it and still people like, oh, he's still doing it, you'd be like, damn, you thought I was just going to give up or something like that. But it's just like, I understand it's hard, it's a process.
Consistency is key. And I think, like, we all go through things, you know, every time we probably don't feel like it, whatever. But as long as you stay consistent, that's what people pay attention to.
Right. So, like, what do you think is your most positive moment with this? Like, because you said you trying to get sponsorships and stuff like that to pay for the event, to help the event. But, like, what's the hardest moment you had with it? Because you already said, like, you expect people to talk, man. But this other stuff with running a business, and with your business, you got to deal with a lot of different people, so you're not about to get all the answers that you like. So tell me about a time where it's just like, I don't know about this.
Oh my god, all the time. Like, I can't even think of a specific time. Yeah, all the time. Like, I can literally think, if we're talking about awards show specifically, there's always a moment, like, right before the show is supposed to happen that is supposed to, like, deter me. So So like last year, I remember taking high top tables out of my car. It was at it was at Elevation. And I'm like taking stuff out of my car, and I get this call that's supposed to just derail me. You know, personal life, we still humans, and I feel like I go through the most around award show season. So like award show season just started, and I'm like, oh my god, what traumatic thing is about to happen to me now? You know, just because. So I can't even get into it, but it's always something, and it's just like, now we gotta focus. And I've been able to like moments where I'm just like about to be in tears, like, oh my god, it's the end of the world. It's like, nah, it's showtime. So yeah.
So do you think, like, you being a woman, you having a kid, I know you, like, we grew up together, so I know how you used to be. Do you think, like, you doing this stuff, like, helped your personality and your confidence? Because I know you used to be shy, like, you used to talk to me, but I wouldn't say you talk to everybody, you get what I'm saying? So, like, do you think, like, that helps give you a balance? Because, like, it's kind of hard. You're a woman, you got a kid, you got a job, and you still trying to do stuff that's impactful.
Right. So to your point of like who Crystal used to be, once again, nobody knew this was gonna happen, right? It all started with the morning announcements, okay?
Definitely.
But yeah, I think once again, all of that was geared. I was a waitress. I think that's really what it was. Okay. Being a waitress really like pushed me out of my comfort zone, yeah. And then just like already knowing people, but I don't know. Being a woman is hard, and I feel like I always identified with being black. Like my whole life, you know, that was always the first thing, and I'm like, this is the first moments where like being a woman it's always a thing. I work with a lot of guys, and like that always comes up, like you're a woman, blah blah blah. It's a lot to juggle, but it's all how you do it. You know what I mean? It's like either you gonna cry about everything and like wanna argue all the time, or some stuff you just gotta kind of like take. You gotta, you know, kind of take it in and figure out what it later. So it's a time and place for everything, but I definitely feel like being a woman, being taken seriously, and having a kid, and all of that. It's a lot to juggle, and still getting respect, and demanding respect without being deemed a bitch. It's like, for now, it's like the Crystal that people have come to love. It's like either you love me or you hate me. And most of the time you hate me because I'm probably going to tell you what to do in a work setting. You know what I mean? And people don't like that coming from me.
Exactly.
But I just take that as a compliment.
Okay. So, this award show, like, when is this the next award show? Let the people know, like, when the next award show is coming.
Yes. Okay. So, it's September 23rd. It's at the Ballroom Boothwin. So, this is the first year that we're doing, like, a sit-down dinner. We're going to have servers. I'm super happy about that. 6 to 10. You know, red carpet, dinner, live entertainment.
AKA the price went up.
It's crazy because the prices, I've been able to keep it still affordable. So that's something big. We get sponsors and things like that. It's like, I want to be able to give people these experiences. So if you paid attention to Missing Plug all year long, I've been doing events for free. Any event that I've had or partnered with somebody, it was for free. Leading up to this moment, because it's like, this is stuff you need to get. You know, you might not be able to afford, but when people sponsor it and people help out, that's how we're able to, you know, give discounted prices and stuff like that. So I'm super excited.
And it's just like, I feel like your event, we don't have it. Like, just like I said, like, it's a lot of people that just probably started a podcast, just probably started doing music, just probably started, but it puts you in a room with people that been doing music. Been doing podcasts, been doing media, stuff like that. So it gets you, it's a good networking event, I can say. Like, it's a good mesh of people. And also let the people know where they can go for that. Like, what's going on?
Yes, okay, so nominations open up actually today, July 17th. And you can go to themissingplug.com. It's literally that simple. Like, everything on the website is simple for you to understand. There's 10 categories this year. So sometimes the number kind of changes, but I want it to be like super specific. So there's 10 categories. Only 5 people can advance to the next round, and that's going to be announced later on in August. And of course, the winners are going to be, announced at the show. So yeah, I'm super excited. Just trying to go to events, do different interviews, and spread the word about it, so people can't say they didn't know. You know?
So outside of the award show, like, what else you got going on? Because you're a lady that got your hands in a lot of different stuff, but it's not only the award shows you're doing. You're doing a lot of stuff for the community right now. What's up with that?
Okay, so we've been doing, one of the events that we've been doing weekly is called Hoop Sessions. So I actually started with my interns. So I have interns from the Trust Education Foundation, and I had primarily boys. So after work, they would get off about like 6:30. I would see them like wandering the streets at the basketball courts. That's when they didn't have lights. So me and one of my partners, Elite on our level, we decided to get some gyms in the city so that they can do what they love to do, the game of ball. So that has grown. We've been doing that since April. Now it's every Tuesday at the Salvation Army and every Thursday at the Boys and Girls Club. We'll have different speakers come in, trainers come in, work with them, and then they get to play basketball. So that's something that I never really was like into the kid thing, if that makes sense. But it's definitely like rewardful. You know, I see these kids everywhere, and they actually like, when they feel like you care, you know what I mean, they'll send me pictures, they'll text me. You know, I feel like they got my back. Like I got a little army out here now. So we're doing that. Meet up with moms. That's also a partnership I've been doing with Killing This Mom thing. It's basically like a support event for moms. You know, my son's 5, but I still feel like I'm a new mom. So we're trying to create a platform for moms to just be able to like, you know, take all the load off and kind of just be around women who understand. So just different events like that. Trying to be specific and give people these experiences that they need. So. Okay,
that's tough. You got a lot going on. I don't know how you do all this stuff.
All the time.
But I don't know where all this time you're getting to do all this stuff, but it's great. It's great. Everything you're doing is great.
Thank you.
So in the next, like you on War Show 5 now. In the next 4 or 5 years, what's your next plan? You say you want to be as big as BET. I don't know if you can pull that off in 5 years, but anything is possible.
What do you mean? We're gonna pull it off in 5 years.
Okay.
But yeah, just elevating and growing. Like I'm the type of person, I'm a planner. Like I try to plan my life. Like I know God has control, but you know I have these goal lists. I have these things that's like, all right, we're doing this, we're doing that. So the teams that I'm a part of, the different people I'm partnering, like we're all got some good stuff going on. So in the next like 5 years, I would love to have like Missing Plug headquarters, you know, and that could be an array of a lot of things. You know, I see restaurants happening, I see venues for different ones, and just being, my biggest thing is just expanding. You know what I mean? Like I would love to have the award show in Chester, but have people fly here. You know what I mean? Like have a dope ass spot here where people are flying all over the world, but we're in Chester. So in order to do that, I have to do my job and just keep elevating, keep expanding, keep building. So yeah.
Okay. So you're doing a lot, like you're doing a lot for everybody, even yourself, but like you also doing a lot for the youth that's seeing what you're doing and is gonna wanna, just like you said, you're trying to get like a media headquarters so you can do stuff. So, like, what would you tell, like, the kids that look up to you, like, the little crystals around the world?
The little crystals.
Yeah, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, and what I always tell people is kind of like, figure out what you are actually good at. So, like, those skills that everybody agrees, like, you're actually good at this. And then find things that you like to do and try to, like, match them. Because you can get paid to do anything. You know, the little Crystal was watching one of those Empire, hoping that she could be a host one day, not knowing that she was going to own something similar to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really about, like, whatever your dreams are, they're not just dreams, just make them reality. And don't let anyone tell you can't do it. Like, I don't know where I got this power, but, like, I can bet on myself. Like, that's the one thing. Like, I could be dead broke, but I know, like, if I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So it was a lot of people when I first started that didn't understand that, including people I lived with, my friends. And if I would have, like, really got into, like, those pressures and, like, the negativity, I would have never got this far. So sometimes you just need to isolate yourself and say, like, this is what I want to do and do it. Because they'll be there when you get back.
Right.
You feel me? Like, my team is strong, but I had to do the work because this is what I wanted to do. So.
And you also, one thing I want to say, you can't worry about who supports you. Because a lot of people only support when they get hot for some reason. They don't really want to be there to see the struggle and the process. They like to see the flashy things and the money. But they don't understand, like, it's a lot of cussing people out. It's a lot of hard nights, long nights, tears, blood. Like, there's a lot to go into it. So I definitely feel that. It's just the consistency.
Yeah, consistency is everything.
All right. So we back with another episode. This is episode 44 of The Concrete. Had my girl Crystal, a.k.a. the Missing Plug, a.k.a. Miss Do Everything. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep tuning in. Love y'all.
Peace.
When you hear what I've got to say, I'm sure you won't be able to turn your head away.